All right, November 10th, we got 6 games on the NHL schedule here tonight, so we'll get into all of those, give out best bets for tonight. We'll review the Canucks Stanley Cup parade route as well as break down the hottest team in the NHL right now, the San Jose Sharks. But before we get into all of that, I want to remind people that today's show, and as always, is sponsored by BetStamp. The easiest way to improve as a sports bettor is to use multiple sports books and always get the best odds. We recommend using an odds comparison tool like BetStamp to help you do so. BetStamp compares odds across every sports book, whether it's for games, futures, or player props. You can save time and money by checking BetStamp before you bet. So make sure to download the app today. You can find that in iOS, Android, or sign up via the web. If you are looking to sign up for a new sportsbook account, please check out the offers available at betstamp.app/edgework. That's betstamp.app/edgework, or you can click the link in the description. Signing up using this link does help support the show, so we appreciate that. Now, Friday's show, we'll get into the games here tonight, recap the week that was a little bit, talk about some of the storylines around the NHL. And as we get through those, I want to remind people, hit the like button here while you're watching. I've thrown out the challenge to get 50 likes while we're on the stream. We hit it the first day. We came just short the last 2 days of the 50 likes. Got there after, so thank you to everyone who liked it when you watched back after. But, I mean, come on. Friday, positive vibes, everyone feeling good. The Edgework show is doing pretty well. I mean, despite last night, and so many will get into the games here, but despite the picks last night and going 2-3, we're still up on the season through 112 bets on the Edgework show here. We're 55-57, but the record is not what's important here. We're looking at a 3.1% ROI so far in the season. So the Edgework show continuing on what we did last year and the success that we had, and we'll look to keep that going throughout the rest of the season. But so many, I mean, transparency is important here on the show. That's one thing that we preach as part of the Hammer Betting Network. Let's dig into the night a little bit from last night. I'm not saying they were bad bets or anything like that, but we knew getting into it ahead of time it was a little bit disgusting. And we do cash on the Blues win there, but it is the Wilds and the Predators who end up losing for us. What went on last night?
So the Preds was a bad pick. I overvalued them. The Jets are playing well, especially when they're at home, and So the Preds was a bad pick. Of course, Saros wasn't on his game either. But So that's bad. The Wild, we knew that's why it was a half unit on the Wild there because Rangers. That's right, Matt. Rangers are the lead, right? So I think that we knew going into that game that was going to happen, or there was a good chance that would happen. I do think that this final score was a little deceiving there. I don't think that the Preds lost. I mean, the Wild lost by 3 goals there, but that's fine. And then the Blues pick, I think they should have won by 5 or 6. I think that if they had any sort of finish, they were like 0-7 on the power play or something, right? Like 0 for 7 on the power play. If they had any sort of finish at all, I think that they blow the doors out of the Coyotes last night. So I did like the Blues play, but Preds was bad, and the Wild, we knew it was half unit and what we were getting into.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not like that drags down the record so far in the season. You'd make the bets, take the swings, and we live and we learn. We recap those, stay transparent there. Also, so money, by the way, yesterday we talked about on the show, or brought up kind of at the end, half jokingly, but the fact that there was the parlay 35-1 that paid on the Sharks and the Blackhawks -1.5. We were pretty close. We were pretty close to that one. It was late in the night, and I was watching 3-1. I think there was about 8 minutes left when I had checked, and I saw the Sharks up 3-1, and I was sitting there, and I went, holy shit. Like, this Blackhawks Sharks parlay could
Oh
be getting
man.
through the uprights right now on the -1.5s, and part of me was sitting there kicking myself a little bit, going, "Oh wow, I should have taken a closer look at that," but obviously we don't, and
I was
ends
thinking,
up being what it is.
yeah, I was thinking about Jordan sitting there watching the game. I was like, oh, come on, just get the
I
M
know.
together here.
That's
Unreal.
what I was thinking about because it was Jordan who sent it in late, and I'm like, I know Jordan is going to be coming into this chat, or maybe not, because maybe he would have had the night of his life after that win last night. But yeah, that would have been an
So close.
exciting one. But we do have to talk about that game a little bit before we can get into
Yeah.
today's games and today's picks. Alex, you show up here. You got the name, the headline edited. Adios Woodcroft. Now with the Oilers' start to the season, they now have the exact same amount of wins as the San Jose Sharks do to start this year. And I know that the major discussion online is that Woodcroft's job is likely lost after today, but it feels like almost that's not even the answer. It's just a temporary band-aid to kind of get through what's going on in Edmonton. But what is going on in Edmonton? Is there any way out of this hole that they've dug themselves right now?
I mean, it's tough. I mean, like I said, when you put yourself behind the eight ball to the point where you're now tied, or essentially you've given up a lead, now a game to the worst team in the league, and the team that may only win 10 or 11 games the whole season. Edmonton's in real bad shape, and firing Woodcroft's not going to change anything. It's in short order. Sure, it might spark the team, and we see that rallying first game after a coach fires get a win. But Edmonton needs to win 4 or 5 games right now to even start talking about, oh, we're back in any kind of contention or form or anything right now. It's a mess, and like I said, it's not just Woodcroft. Ken Holland should be gone, as well as a whole bunch of things that need
Yeah.
to be cleaned up there. And but Woodcroft's going to be the first domino to fall, and I mean, it's 8:38 Mountain Times we're talking now. I'd imagine in a few hours we hear some kind of news out of Alber.
Yeah, I mean, so money. You think that this coaching change here would even change anything for them? Like I know Alex is mentioning, like this is Holland. It's the not just who's on the team; it's the level of play right now. Everything kind of feels like it's going wrong. Even there's video surfacing yesterday of Jack Campbell in his first appearance in the AHL. He allows 3 goals on the first 11 shots, and one of which is just a little dribbler that he pretty much puts in past himself. Like every single thing with this organization just feels like it's going in the wrong direction at the current moment.
Yeah, I watched that Jack Campbell video, and I swear I could hear Alex cackling like all the way over here. Right? So, um, while I was watching that video, I know he loved it. Um, it- the thing is that firing Woodcroft is not going to change anything,
Yeah.
but and I'm not one to like overreact to things, but I do think that it's necessary at this point, just because even though it might not change anything on the ice, I think something needs to be done, because what's going to end up happening is that when you have a team like the Oilers um, who they should be a good team, right? There's no reason why they shouldn't be a good team, and they've also been very snake bit lately as well, right? Even in
Hmm.
last night's game, right? And like sometimes what happens is that there's just so much pressure on you as like a good team. If you keep thinking that we're just going to be able to play through it, we'll turn it around, it's it's all going to get away from you very quickly, right? So I
Yeah.
think that just the opportunity, just the chance for something to change, I think you need to take that, because they're unable to make any big roster improvements right now with their cap situation and the contract. So there's nothing you can do on that front, right? So either you ride it out, and it's very possible at this point that things completely get away from you and you miss the playoffs altogether, or you try to do something to like change what was happening around the team. Like even last year when Woodcroft came in, like, and rightfully so, we gave him tons of accolades on how well Edmonton was playing defensively, right? And like as a team, and they were, but we're not seeing that this season right now, right? Like we're not seeing that same kind of buy-in, we're not seeing the same kind of discipline. Of course, when you play hockey, a lot of your play has to do with how much confidence and faith you have in your goaltender as well, right? Like
Yeah.
you will play differently if you feel that you're not getting backed up, right? So So there's that element to it as well. So I mean, even though it may not change anything on the ice in terms of the way that this team plays, I don't think you have a choice but to shake it up. And like, it's not to say I think Woodcroft is a bad coach. I don't. I think he's very articulate, very well spoken. I think he's
Yeah.
a good communicator. He was brought in last year, and he like implemented good defensive systems on a team that was running fire drills in their own zone, right? So we did see that improvement, but you're just running the risk right now of just the status quo, which may tank your whole season at this point. And I don't think that the composition of this team and where they are right now, they can afford to do that.
No,
I mean,
well,
honestly,
you can't afford that.
I'll say
Go
for the
ahead, Alex.
Oilers, before they make a move, you think that the owners, would sit down with at least McDavid and Draisaitl, right, before you make a move, because that's essentially your
Yeah.
franchise right now, right? Like your GM's more than likely going to be gone. At some point, your coach is more than likely going to be gone. So the only people that you really truly have a flag stuck in right now, 97 and 29. And I think you talk to them before you make any kind of move. And if they feel like a coaching change would at least shake things up and save the season, then you make that move. But if not, then maybe you make this year a rebuild year, and you try to tank and get a pick or do something and try to make that next boost. Because that's the thing, this team on paper is not the worst team in the league. They're not a bottom 5 or bottom 10
No.
team. They're just playing like shit right now. But they can turn
Yeah,
things around and possibly be a wild card team. They need that momentum boost. So they need something to spark momentum. You can't unless you can make a player deal, which that's going to be hard to do. As somebody just mentioned with their cap, strong basically. You got to make some kind of a move, and the head coach just seems like the only logical thing that could really wake that room up.
If
yeah,
it
and I was just gonna say to both of your points, it's like if you fire the GM, it doesn't really you don't it's not felt in the locker room really.
No,
Right?
no.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And yeah, like the thing is that like they're not a mid-range team where like you can just say that we're just gonna ride it out. Like you can't afford to ride this out at this point. Like you need to do
Yeah,
something.
yeah. Well, all right, there you go. There's our Oilers talk radio for this morning. But something was passed across the desk this morning, so I was waiting to get into it. But we do have some breaking news. So, Money, rumor has it that in Vancouver they are rerouting the parade route. What is going on with the Canucks?
Yeah, so I'm gonna make this official announcement here. I was thinking about it. I don't think it's necessary for us to go all the way down Robson Street. I think
Okay.
that taking a detour to get through Gastown, and I'll have pictures up on Twitter. I think that it'd be nice to have it go like around the steam clock there as well. So yeah, I like just going all the way down Robson might get a little boring. I think we should make that detour. But I will I will get my people on it to talk to the Canucks.
Okay, yes, very good. Well, thank you. It seems like a logical solution there, so thank you for letting us know. And I look forward to seeing the new updated map later on Twitter. If you're not following So Money on Twitter already, make sure to check that out. There you go. Seeing people in the chat now suggesting where to start sending the parade route through. All right, we do have a bunch of games ahead of us here on the schedule tonight, so we'll get through those. And Alex, we'll go to you first and foremost. I mean, we've held on to this team for Tuesdays now. It's been the Wild Tuesdays, the Kings Tuesdays. We end up discussing making a wild pick last night, but and it doesn't get through to us for us last night there. But you're gonna go back to the Minnesota Wild. You're looking at the Wild tonight against the Buffalo Sabres.
Yeah, I am a cheap price, and you got, this is the second night of a back-to-back, but you're stepping down on a bit in competition if you're the Wild. You're taking a Buffalo team that, once again, good team on paper, but they've got a lot of different flaws, and they just, night in and night out, you don't know what you're going to get from the Sabres right now. But with the Wild, Philip Gustafson, as shaky as he's been, I think this could be one of those stars that really kind of get him back on track. As great of his numbers were last year, a lot of it looks like it could be an aberration, but I think he's still got some good game left in him. I don't think that was just a complete blip in the road. I think this is a good spot, and I think this is a good price to back Minnesota on the road as a dog here.
All right, there you go. Plus 105. We're currently seeing best price available for the Minnesota Wild, so we'll take that against the Sabres here tonight. Alex, what would you be looking to play this down to? Like, say somebody is watching or listening to this later in the day, some of these numbers have moved.
I mean, yeah, grab anything at plus money. I'd say, yeah, $1.05, nothing more than $1.05. That would be probably my cutoff for a full unit. Maybe see $1.10 or more. I'd maybe go down to a half unit.
Okay, there you go. Lock that in for the Minnesota Wild there. Plus 105. First pick of the day. We track that. So money. What are your thoughts on going back to the Wild here tonight?
I think and Alex mentioned that you don't know what you're going to get out of the Sabres on a night-to-night basis. That's what I feel about the Wild as well, right? So, and the thing about Gustafsson, I think that we need to remember too that goaltenders, and we've seen this, like we have many examples of this, that like goaltenders kind of swing back and forth on like a
Sure.
pendulum sometimes, right? And like
Hmm.
Gustafsson had a great season last year, and maybe it's time to start thinking that this could be an off year for him, right? And so that's something that I'm mindful of when I'm assessing his starts. So I will pass, just because I feel the same way about Minnesota that Alex does about Buffalo. Like I just don't know.
All
So
right.
just like put them at like a pick 'em price and like just play the dog, and hopefully you win in overtime.
Yeah. All right. There you go. First pick locked in here tonight. We'll continue to go through this tonight's games and give out more best bets. But if you haven't already, hit that like button as more picks are will be coming here throughout the remainder of the show. And so many will go to you for your first pick of the day. And I'm in support of it. I like it. And I think that people will understand why we're looking at the Calgary Flames game here tonight against the Toronto Maple Leafs in Toronto. Calgary plus 136 right now. The Leafs minus 150. A total of 6.5. What way would you be looking to bet on this game here tonight? So money.
So I look at the Leafs chart here right now, where like I track every game, and all I see since that 4-1 win in Dallas is just a bunch of red, right? So what that means to me is that not only are they losing the games, they're being outplayed in their games, right? So there is nothing I see out of the Leafs right now that would warrant this kind of price, right? Absolutely nothing. Like even that 6-5, the Tampa Bay win at 6-5, even
Mm-hmm.
that game they were outplayed, right? Like good for them, they came back, but they were outplayed, right? And that was a game where really they should have gotten up for. That Boston game really turned me off on the Leafs, right? Like I it wasn't just because I had a big play on the Leafs and I lost that, but it was just because I don't understand how you didn't get up for that game, right? For the Flames, um, they're not very good on the season as a whole, right? But you also got to zoom in a little bit on these things sometimes, and um and they're not playing as poorly anymore as their overall record indicates, right? After that Edmonton game, they have started playing better now. Granted, we did have wins against Seattle and Nashville, so we do have to take that into consideration. But
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see why the Leafs would be favored by this much, right? And like they're not getting the goaltending, and Calgary. All year they've gotten average to slightly below average goaltending when you're just looking at the metrics, but it's not like the Leafs are gonna um, that's going to be a big advantage for the Leafs and goal either. So I do like the Flames here. I will be betting them. I'm just trying to time the market entry, but I will be on the Flames tonight.
Okay, so you see plus 136 there right now. Now, for again, kind of similar to what I had asked Alex here, but as the market continues to go throughout the day, get news, whatever it is, where would you be comfortable playing this to?
So I'm good with them right now. I just I just don't
Yeah.
see any reason to um because I think there's a possibility it could get better. So I won't enter the market until I see it either getting better. But I would have the Flames. I have them down to plus 118 here. So I would play the
Okay.
Flames down to plus 118. Again, I'm good with them right now. It's just a matter of I'm just going to time get the optimal market entry here.
Yeah, makes sense. There you go. We'll track that second best bet of the day. Now, Alex, any thoughts for you in this Flames Leafs game tonight?
Nothing for tonight, but I will definitely be watching the Flames even closer than I already have because Dustin Wolf has been recalled from the AHL. He's 5-0 down there. His numbers in the AHL in the last 2.5 years have been absolutely insane. And this guy, I mentioned it, during the off season on Twitter and different things. He is definitely the best goaltender Calgary has, and he could easily have the open road right now to win the job, right in front of Vladar and Markstrom. So that's something to keep an eye on.
Okay, fair enough. And that two picks given out here on the show. Continue to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And Alex, we'll go back to you here. The team that we've kind of been, or at least I've been watching and just enjoying watch from an entertainment standpoint. But we're gonna look at the Anaheim Ducks at home tonight against the Philadelphia Flyers right now. -110 for the Flyers, best price available, +103 on the Ducks. A total currently sitting at 6.5 if you look around some different books there. What are your thoughts on tonight's game between the Flyers and the Ducks, and where would you be looking to bet on this game?
Yeah, if you had asked me in October, would I be watching Anaheim, Philadelphia on a Friday, I would have said absolutely not. Considering how bad we thought these two teams would be, but they both flipped things around in short order for now. But certainly, I've been way more impressed with what Anaheim's done, and Greg Cronin deserves a ton of credit already to make this team competitive night in and night out. And they've had talent for a year, right? Like even last year, as bad as they were, but we know the young budding talent they have with Terry and Zegras and company. You add a Leo Carlson, you got the emergence of Lucas Dostal, who now seems like he could be a guy where Anaheim says, hey, we can finally move on with John Gibson, and we have somebody that we can feel comfortable and safe with potentially, or if Gibson goes down, he's had injury issues. They got a guy that they can rely on, and they have a good 1A, 1B tandem, something we didn't expect to see right away from Anaheim. And I think that's what's keeping them mostly competitive. But like I said, Cronin's just got that whole team playing with a bunch of spirit and energy, even in the losses. Look at how they played in that Pittsburgh game. It was 1-0. It was very close all the way until the end. Pittsburgh gets an empty net goal. But Anaheim really controlled pace of play for pockets of times. And it's just something we haven't been able to say about the Ducks, where they've just been involved every single game, win or lose. So taking a shot with them at home as a dog, you see get plenty of plus prices or short laying prices. Definitely go Anaheim tonight.
All right, there you go. Third pick locked in here, and you can find all the picks that we give out here on the show throughout the course of the season or on a daily basis in the BetStamp app in the Find Better section as Edgework HQ. So make sure to check that out. Follow us on there if you do want to see all of the picks. So many before we move off of this game. Any thoughts for you on the Anaheim Ducks, their start to the season, and how they kind of match up here tonight against the Flyers?
Before that, can we just go back to the Calgary game for a bit? There's some talk in the chat here about about Calgary's goaltending. So,
Yes.
I said that Calgary has gotten average to below average goaltending all season. Those were my words. I should have clarified. From Vladar, he stinks this year, right? And Markstrom has actually been good this year. So I think that you have to separate the two goaltenders. I do still get an edge with the Flames with Vladar, and I am anticipating that they will be starting Markstrom today and they'll be starting Vladar tomorrow. So I just wanted to get that clarified. Everything I'm saying is with the expectation that Markstrom starts. Once Markstrom is confirmed, I do think that line is going to fall, and that's just right when he's confirmed is when I'll be entering the market. If it is Vladar, then I'll be waiting. I'll be waiting a bit. On this Philly Anaheim game, Carter Hart is confirmed, and I am high on Philadelphia in general, but I have trouble getting this price on the road right now, especially because of what
Right.
Alex mentioned with the Ducks and how they're playing, and they are a team that's on the that's on the rise here. So while I do like the Flyers, I can't get at this price. So I do think that I'll be passing on this game, and if the Ducks get a little bit higher on the money line, then I'll be joining Alex as well.
All right. There you go. Now, before we move on from today and kind of wrap this up, those are the three best bets that we have. So we'll recap all of these at the end of the show here. But Alex, first and foremost to you, there's a few other games on the schedule here tonight. Are there any that you're looking at, maybe trying to get involved in later in the day? Any that you're going to be looking at closer to game time or during the games here tonight?
No, I might have a live look for that. Vegas San Jose first period. Might be looking for that over. You got San Jose. One couple of games here now, but now you got to take on Vegas, and the books are not even phased right now. We're seeing some insane prices already. North of one book has minus 550 for Vegas. So obviously, it seems like this could be the end of the short brief winning streak for San Jose. But I think first period over might be live. I think we can see maybe San Jose tries to come out with energy and they understand they got to jump out and get the lead as soon as they possibly can. So maybe we see them play with a little bit more up tempo right out of the gate, and that could lead to Vegas getting some transition the other way. So first period over live, maybe try to look for something that's in the minus 120 range or cheaper. Wait about a couple minutes in game and then pounce on that.
All right. And so, Money, anything for you that you're going to be waiting on here tonight?
I'm interested to see where this Carolina Florida line goes here. I think that both of these teams they're actually playing well right now, but I think that Carolina is flying under the radar still a bit here. So right now the price is fair. There's some rosters moves I'm kind of waiting on for the Panthers right now just to get some clarity there. But if the if the Canes come back a little bit around the low one in the low minus 120s, that's where I would like to get that. But I don't know if it'll get there, but that's something I'm keeping an eye on.
All right. Well, there you go. Those are our best bets for today. Now, So Money, before we can wrap up the show, there is a massive game coming up this weekend. The Vancouver Canucks taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Let's give a little preview. Thoughts on the game, what might happen, maybe a prediction for tomorrow night's battle between the Leafs and the Canucks.
So the Leafs are going to be on a back-to-back here, right? And the Canucks will have them go back and goal. Canucks didn't play well against Ottawa. I think they'll be the first ones to tell you that. That's a couple of games now in the last week or so where they haven't played well, but they're getting the wins, right? And the Leafs are just not playing well as we've alluded to earlier. So we'll see what the price comes in at. Canucks are going to be a dog, and I think you just got to go with the Canucks. Until there is going to come a point this season, and it's probably going to happen very soon, where they will hit a wall. Until then, I'm having my fun and I'm trolling everybody. But
planning parade routes
because I don't know when it's going to end, but I will keep betting the Canucks until they do hit a wall, which is coming. Yeah. But go Canucks.
Yeah. And I will say this, I will be rooting for the Flames tonight and the Canucks tomorrow. And the reason is because I think the Leafs are a good team and not a great team. And I don't think that this team, as I've said with you guys on the show before, I don't think that this team is a team that can win the Stanley Cup. And the issue for me now through 7 years is watching the Maple Leafs has become very evident that this is a team, as we just talked about with Edmonton, when you're saying, can they afford to stay stagnant? Well, Edmonton's at least made changes and tried to do some different things. This Leafs team loves to just ride it out and status quo and we'll figure it out. We've got to get enough team. And hey, all the props to you in the world for having confidence in what you've built. But at some point, give your fucking head a shake and realize maybe this isn't going to work and you got to change something here. And I'm kind of just at the point of if you lose to these two games, then you're not in the same position of Edmonton where you're 2-8-2 through the first 12 games of your season and tied with San Jose in last. So you're not in that desperation position of your record, but maybe you kind of sit here and go, oh, we've won one of our last 8 games. Something needs to change for something to go forward. And I'm just trying to push them and give them the nudge off the cliff that they might need here. Hey, just lose this one here tonight, lose tomorrow against Vancouver 10-2, and then Sunday morning we'll have some changes in Toronto. That's what I'm looking for because I want the team to win, want the team to have success. But yeah, and Matt Alber here saying, can we overlay a Telegram voice memo into the show? Might have sent a heated voice memo to Matt and Moretto yesterday, listening to some Toronto sports radio that I just almost made my brain explode. So that was where that was at. All right, let's recap the picks for today, where we're at. So far on the Edgework show, including last season, this is an all-time record. 451, 507, and 13. But we are up 28.6 units with a 2.7% ROI. That's what it's all about. It's not about the records there necessarily. It is about the return on investment and the amount of money that has been won. And so far for tonight's 3 picks locked in here. You can find all these picks over on the BetStamp app in the Find Better section as Edgework HQ. We got the Calgary Flames money line plus 136 against the Maple Leafs for a full unit. The Minnesota Wild plus 105 money line for a full unit there. And then the Anaheim Ducks money line plus 103 for a full unit. 3 plus money plays here for the games tonight. So those are our picks that are locked in. If you did enjoy the show today, you do like the picks, please make sure to hit that like button here on the stream today. If you're watching back after, hit the like button as well. Make sure to subscribe here to the channel. I do appreciate all of the viewers who continue to come here, watch it live, watch it after the fact, as well as if you're listening on podcasts. Subscribe, rate, review, all that good stuff does help us continue to grow. So thank you to everyone who tuned in here today. Alex, So Money, again, as always, thank you guys so much for taking the time to do this. Look forward to seeing you both back here on Monday morning. To everyone else, if you're looking for NBA bets for tonight, for this weekend, head over to the Board NBA. You can get best bets with Jacob Grimenia, Pips NBA, player props, SGPs, sides, totals for the NBA games coming up here. You're going to want to see all of that, so make sure to head on over there and check that out. But to everyone who tuned in here today, thank you very much. Appreciate you taking the time to do so. Enjoy the games tonight. Good luck on your bets. Let's have a day.